if you have any questions, I'm sure we'll be happy to answer. It will cost you a nickel each. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. My name is Chiro. I am Kurd from southern Kurdistan. It's very unfortunate that we hear that Kurdish were with the genocide of the Armenian, but it's not something that they chose to do it. They are used, they are victims. We are also went through the genocide in the hand of Turk and Arab and Persian and what you called in this area. So it's not a revenge between Armenian or Kurd. We are both Aries or the same cousins, what we say.
Now we're Khalos.
Khalos. Exactly. So we are, when you talk about the Kurd, I'm just hear that I heard because I wasn't a part of that, but somehow you feel uncomfortable. But when you say that we are both victims of that very powerful government use us for killing us, and then we are also Kurd are not a Muslim, they're Zarathustra, so they're also victimized to become or propose or to change their religions.
I'm with you.
To convert their religions to Islam.
Yeah.
So we are victim of many things, not just being victimized as a used for genocide. We also went through many genocide in the hand of the Saddam's regime in the 99 when we the whole nation were left the country, and the torture that you are describing it that had happened 100 times in the hand of the Arab city. It's not the hatred of Arab, but no government in the Arab says sorry to the Kurd in one word. None until today. Thousands of people will die, were killed, were genocide, were taken to the base where they are alive. So it's very unfortunate that Kurdish people used. They are not the decision maker. So please, when you describe it, just not describe it as we are the guilty person. You know, we are used.
I agree with you. I agree with you, but you never heard me blame the Kurds for the genocide or saying that you are guilty by association. There is no guilt by association. What happened was they victimized the Hamidiyya, as my friend Rafi mentioned, throughout history, for 400 years, 500 years, all the politics in the in Anatolia has been on three prongs: Kurds, Armenians, and Turks. At times, Kurds have been with Armenians against Turkey. Armenians have been with Turks against the Kurds. Kurds have been together in alliance against Armenians. So time has changed through and through. At that time in 1915, it's not only in 1915. The point is that even in the 19th century, late 19th century, things started happening, and there were always Kurdish tribes were looting and killing and doing all kinds of stuff. But that was the Kurd of the last century, even century and a half. Today, my friends are PhDs, and they are masters, and they are educated, they are cultured, they are humanitarian, they are, you name it, that they are civilized. They even have opera going on. So times have changed. We cannot dwell on that one. But we are like the Kurds. What is haqq? The haqq is to have our land back. What I'm asking and saying and keep on talking about is that Kurd of Turkey, I'm not talking about Syrian, Iraqi, or Iranian, Kurds of Turkey, should understand that we are partners. Özgür Politika, you know the newspaper, interviewed me at length. I have it framed in my house. That Kurdish and Armenian causes are intertwined. Birbirine bağlıdır. There is no escape from it. The Kurdish problem will never be solved in Turkey, and the Armenian problem will never be solved in Western Armenia unless they are solved together. And iki fındık bir olsa cevizin yırtar.
So my point is we have all together to work hard to not let genocide happen again. That's the point.
Yeah, it's not genocide.
To not
Look,
let the people kill
what do you
each
think
other.
is happening in Syria?
That's the point.
It's a
Okay.
genocide right now. There's a genocide happening in Syria. It happens all over Rwanda, Burundi, I don't know, Cambodia, and all those places. So these are idealistic stuff that human rights, this, that, people don't give a damn about human rights. In Arabic, in Iraqi Arabic, they say, El Gui Yakul El Mustawi. The powerful eats the ripe fruit. That's what it is. Today, it's a dog world. It has been, but at that time, the thieves were only 3-4 countries, the imperialists, namely Britain and France and Germany and Belgium, and now it is diffused all over the place. So what can we do? What is haq is the material thing. We are partners. They were telling me in the parliament, in my negotiations with them, that Kurdistan is a big garden, and the Armenians are the biggest flowers in the nicest flowers. I said, look, Armenians are no flowers. We are not flowers to live in Kurdistan. What is haq is how this is Sevres Treaty is the only legal thing that tells this is Kurdistan, this is Armenia. We are happy with that. That's what should be done.
Okay.
Sure.
Haris?
I have one. Probably we should let them first ask each other or make comments and then the audience, because there were certain differences here. Probably they would like to elaborate on that before we go to the audience.
Fine. Here's
I want just some to this Hamidiya regime. Actually, Hamidiya regime. I share your sister. I share your feeling. Actually, yes, it's hurting because when we said, Kurds involved in genocide, it's hurting, right? Yes, I share your feeling. Hamidiya regiments actually were established formed before genocide. They were sent to the border area, Russian. Turkey border to protect the borders against Russians, and then even they were used against Kurds to kill the Kurds or suppress Kurdish tribes or Ashurites. And once their duty is over, actually the Itaat Terakki promised to pay them money. What happened? They didn't pay them that money. They were sent into Anatolia, and they lived in a very destitute, terrible conditions. Because they betrayed their own people even. So that's the story. I mean, the Kurdish villages, for instance, were involved in, knowingly or unknowingly, involved in plundering. It's a crime against humanity. That happened a lot throughout the Kurdistan. I mean, we have many examples of that.
I just wanted to comment that no matter how much we talk about justice or our rights, it's not like in real law when someone kills somebody and takes over that murdered person's house and his wife and his kids, then in every country he's done wrong and he gets punished. But it doesn't work like this in politics. We have to be realistic. Might is right in politics, and right now Armenians don't have any might, neither numbers, neither militarily, neither resources, neither, as Dr. Astarjian said, as a united position, united front. So I don't think that even if we find people believing that Sev is right and therefore we should get something because of that, we won't be able to get that. I still think the problem is in Turkey, and the solution will be in Turkey by the hidden Armenians coming out, and that's the only numbers that we can have. If those Armenians can come out, and with more democratized and open-minded Kurds and those Armenians act together, then we can do something. Because Armenia itself is emptying, and right now the hidden Armenians in Turkey, they are a bigger number than the entire population of Armenia. So if those are going to be aware of their identity, and if they can cooperate with the Kurds, that's how we can start the first step toward justice and restitution. Nothing is going to happen from outside. That's I'm not a pessimist, I'm not an optimist, I'm just an engineer who says the glass has double the volume of the water in it. So, unfortunately, I don't see a quick solution.
Dr. Astarjian, a couple of questions. First of all, you mentioned Sevr Treaty, and we know that Sevr Treaty issue has been on in the media, discussed in certain places by certain scholars. One of them is the former ambassador to Canada, Armenia's ambassador to Canada, Arababian.
I know.
But my question is, why is it the Armenian government silent on this issue? Why the Armenian government is not capitalizing on this issue and bringing it to the forefront of the political sphere and discussing it instead of pursuing protocols which are useless? That's one issue. And second issue, you mentioned about Western Armenia and do something. What do you suggest about doing something?
I suggested several already in cooperation with the Kurds. That's number one. Secondly, don't let me trash Armenia and the government of Armenia in front of the public. I don't want to talk about it. I don't know too much about it. I don't care too much about it. That's another thing. It's a disaster. It looks like it's a disaster. So forget that. Forget Armenia doing it. Forget somebody else doing the job for you. What is it that you are going to do? Can you organize over here in diaspora? Put everybody together with diverse opinions and so on, with one goal? That's the challenging issue. That's what I'm challenging everybody.
Yeah, but we have to be realistic also that to bring up a treaty, arbitration, which is part of the international law, you need a state. I mean, you're right, you can bring the scholars, you can bring the lawyers to discuss this thing, but also you need international forums to pick up on this issue and take that arbitration issue to higher levels and put it on more formal.
You just gave me a roadmap for action. That's how it should be. It's a roadmap for action. It's an idea that people should discuss.
But therefore, we need the cooperation of the Armenian government.
There is no, not necessarily, not at all. Why? It's nice to have them on board, but it's not a matter of. And I think in going with Dr. Abrahamian's suggestion, I think my friend Rafi and I have a little diversion of opinion. I say Turkey is like stone. You can't get water out of it. No matter how much you squeeze it, it doesn't matter. But if we and the Kurds get together, iki fındık bir olsa birini götürüyorlar. I didn't know if there were people who understand Turkish. So
Good. Okay.
that's a very important thing.
Yes.
I'm from Kyrgyzstan.
You are Kirkukli?
Yes.
This is Jawan.
So I got a lot of memory from my mom's told me. I know about the Armenian. We had a lot of.
Louder, please.
Yeah. Okay. The question that I want to focus on is, first of all, I am a Kurd. I'm specialized. I'm trying to be specialized. I just finished yesterday about the genocide of Jews. And I'm a member of the Kurdish League Genocide in Toronto. So I just want to focus on one thing. Mostly, it's a common understanding, which is misconceptions, that Kurds participated in the Armenian genocide, which will relate to the Hamidiya. We say Hamidiya Suara, so it means Hamidiya.
Yeah, the riders.
But the problem, let's say, in 1988, when Saddam Hussein attacked the Kurdistan and
Halabja.
Yeah. Another process I'm talking about, Anfal process of Anfal.
Yeah.
So within a few months, 280,000 Kurds, civilian, only civilian, 5,000 villages been destroyed. All the people's massacred, most of them live, okay, have been killed, that's it. So in the power that Saddam Hussein has, let's say, most of the people that do this crime, they were a Jash. You understand, Professor? Jahush.
Jahsha.
Jash, yeah. So,
Monster.
like a Hamidiya, which is belong to Saddam Hussein's power.
Yes.
So, up until now, there is no indicate that Anfal, process of Anfal, that Jash did it. We don't say Kurdish did it or Jash. We say Saddam Hussein, because why? The point is, the concentration of the power, it was in Baghdad. Same in Hamidiya, it was in Istanbul. It was not in Hamidiya Suara. So I mean, for me, it's a kind of little bit unfair if I talk about the Kurdish participating in Armenian genocide to mention it because of Hamidiya, I have to involve Kurds in the genocide. I mean, it's almost impossible. Another point that I want to mention it, I was in Turkey in 1999. At that time, I was very communist. I was left. But when I saw in the picture when Abdullah Öcalan was, they captured him, and there is no country give him any refugee thing. I understood why I am a Kurd, why they didn't give him a refugee, because I am a Kurd. So when I was there, at that time, the president of Turkey, Ares, I don't know, it's called Ares, Prime Minister Bolan Ecevit, Hikmet Çetin, it was a defense minister. Ismail Cem, foreign minister.
Hikmet Çetin.
At that time anyway. Hikmet Çetin, the other guy was interior minister. All of them, they were Kurds, all of them. So this is nothing to do with the capturing of the Öcalan. We say, oh, Turks did it. No, Turks did it. Who has the power? Who must be responsible for that? Really, the panel that I've heard about it today is, for me, it looks like a roller coaster. In one hand, they rise the Kurds. In one, they said, Kurds do this is good thing, they did it. But in the other hand, no, they slapped it. I mean, for me, Ashira, let's say the guy is the leader of the Ashira, has nothing to do with me, really. If I am doing anything to anyone 1,000 times, I'm saying, I'm sorry. And I know it's not going to work. Tolerance is the only thing. Third point, if you give me one point, please. I need this one. The most important thing is this area, it's called Central of Genocide. If anyone has a power, maybe tomorrow, if you have a power just like Istanbul, you may do a crime. If I have a power in Diyarbakir, okay, I may do a crime. I mean, we have to look after those factors that creating the soul of the crimes. As I said, maybe you are doing it tomorrow. Maybe I'll be doing it tomorrow. I'm not sure. So I mean, Turks, not all Turks devils. The powers, or these small things that say that you have mentioned, Turkish Kurdish because they are Turks or anything, those elements that creating the soul of the genocide, we have to fight this. Thank you.
All right. I think I'm begging you to be untangled of this genocide issue and concentrate on political issue. You are falling into the same trap that the Armenians have fallen into. Genocide. For 99 years, they have kept us busy with this genocide, spending money, spending effort, spending intellectual spending lack of order, all kinds of stuff because of the genocide. So don't be tangled with the genocide, even with Anfal. All right? Don't tangle with that. It's wrong. Halepcha is wrong. Anfal, I don't know which is worse. Both are death and destruction. So don't. That is a historic thing. Concentrate on your Kurdistan and the political stuff. That's what my humble suggestion is for you.
Just one question, gentlemen. One observation. I'm more inclined to go down the channel of the understanding of the basically attaining the identity of the Armenian Kurds in order to strengthen the Armenian population and begin to establish a grassroots movement from the bottom up. On the other aspect of it, with the Sevres Treaty, I'm going to ask a question, and this will basically determine which channel of direction I will go towards in thinking. What is the probability or the possibility with such a divided Kurdish empire, so to say, that the Turks would actually acknowledge the Sevres Treaty, give the land to the Armenians, and then set the Kurds against the Armenians in the process?
Land and country is never given. It's taken.
Right.
But if we take
And what I say, and Mr. Bedrosian say, are not mutually exclusive. They go hand in hand. Thirdly, you've got to study Turkey. Today's Turkey. You've got to study it and see what's holding it up. I don't have anything to do with them. Let them give me my right, and your right is easy. I don't care about Turkey. They can prosper, they can be whatever they want. What I am saying is that if I don't work today, you have to, don't be philosophizing or whatever it is. You ask yourself one question. Do I give up Western Armenia, or am I the owner of Western Armenia? See what it is. If you want to give up Western Armenia, forget it. You are in Principality of Toronto, you are comfortable, you have buildings and everything else, and a setup going on. So you absolve yourself of all guilt. It's not done. You give up. You don't want Western Armenia. Forget it. But if you want Western Armenia, then you've got to do something. What is it that you can do? What is at hand? One instrument which is at hand is the Sevres Treaty. And it's not going to be tomorrow or 5 years from now or 10 years. But if you don't play the football, you can't score goals. If you don't work now, 50 years from now, there will be neither Kurdistan nor Armenistan.
Here's a lady.
I would like to say something to your comments, in regards to your comments. There is a like when somebody wants to kill somebody, you have to distinct yourself from that person. You have to identify with the other. So when you are identifying, there are many aspects. There's a difference between what happened in Iraq and in Turkey in terms of Armenians. Armenians try their best to get their Kurdish friends to get organized in France and England in the time. I'm not going to go into depth. Many of us know that already. They helped them to get organized, they helped them to educate their public, and they were always in contact with them, supported them. But the Kurdish, at the end, picked Turks, not the Armenians. So we have to see that. We have to acknowledge it. So Muslims picked Muslims. Armenians were not Muslims. I think there's a we have to acknowledge that. In Iraq, it was different. Muslims were killing Muslims. There were other aspects to identify the ones you kill as the other. So I just wanted to mention that. So it's different.
Chairman, okay, excuse me. Rafi would like to.
I think just wanted to clarify something. I think we are almost saying the same thing with Dr. Astarjian, but my point is that if there is going to be any result any time, it will be within Turkey, and that means it will be within Turkish parliament. I don't give a damn what's happening in French parliament or Obama says something or not. But if Kurds and hidden Armenians, they become democratically aware of their rights, and if they can do things together, they are represented in the Turkish parliament, and none of us, I don't care if we are lawyers or politicians or whatever outside, it will be the Turkish citizens who will bring resolutions to the Turkish parliament and bring out any injustice done in the past and find restitution to them. So all our efforts, at least in my case, that's where I am going, to bring out the Armenians. For me to bring out hidden Armenians, one hidden Armenian family from Turkey means more than any of these resolutions passing in foreign third country parliaments. So we have, and Kurds are gaining power. Right now, if you know the elections, the last elections, Kurds are all of the border of Armenia, Iran, Iraq, Syria. There is almost no border left between Turkey, as well as these countries. It's all Kurds. So as Kurds are getting more powerful, they're getting more responsible, and half of them maybe are Armenians in there. So our efforts should be towards making both Kurds and hidden Armenians aware of the potential power there.
Right.
Thank you.